But when he needs water, he droops all the way. Like you don't even get you don't get much time. Same with Rex. And I feel like that's a very guy thing to do. God, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna give you any signs, I'm just gonna shut it down.
Don't stop, get it, don't stop, get it, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop.
So my name is Alvi, and I grew up in North Carolina. I'm originally from Liberia, West Africa. That's where most of my family is, and now reside in West New York, New Jersey.
And I'm Alex Hooks. I was born in Brooklyn, raised in Richmond, Virginia, and now I live here in West New York, New Jersey.
I'm definitely a plant mom. That is now my fun fact for when we do icebreakers at work with new teams. So I'm just like, I have like over 23 plants now, and I consider myself a plant mom. So
It depends on the day. I feel like, if I worked out, I'm plant zaddy, but if I didn't work out, I'm just plant pops, Let's see. So we have right in front of us, you can't see on the camera, of course, we have Ellie, which is our aloe plant. On our coffee table, we have Rex, who is a Rex begonia. Then we have Mauve, which is a polka dot plant. We have Ray, which is our pineapple. We have Sophia, which is a succulent. We have Kim, which is she a Boston fern?
she's a Kimberly.
She's a Kimberly fern, so her name is Kim. Right next to me, we have our Monstera plant. Her name is Nikki. Because, Nikki was a monster on the Monsterverse. Above us, we have our golden pothos. Her name is Queen. We have another succulent. His name is Otis. Then next to Queen, we have our snake plant. His name is Mamba. In the kitchen, we have our Chinese evergreen. Her name is May. She's a calathea of some sort. Like, I'm not good at the scientific names yet. The names help. But Freddie's a calathea. We have a watermelon peperonia. Her name is Melly. Then we have alocasia.
Black velvet.
Black velvet alocasia. Yep, her name is Casey. In the bedroom, we have a dragon tree. His name is Viserion. And then we also have another dragon plant, and his name is Drogon. So we have a princess palm in the bedroom. Her name is Diana. We have a ZZ plant over the bed, and her name is ZZ Beats. And then we have a Chinese money tree. His name is Jackie. Her name is Jackie. Is that everybody? I think that's everybody.
You forgot Pop.
Oh, Pop. We have a corn plant right next to the couch, and his name is Pop. Our couple plan, right, is plant, puppy, baby. So just to kind of like, increasing levels of responsibility as a unit. So we started getting plants like kind of on a whim. There was I had a work event that I had planned, and then we had leftover live plants. So I brought home like 5. And that started, that started our plant parenting journey. And we have been talking about it, like we have been looking up like, is it better air quality and stuff like that. So it kind of had like a functional start. But then, you do more research and you realize that the amount of impact it has on the air quality is really small. And then it became more decorative. It was like, we knew we wanted to have plants in our house throughout the space. And we actually had a couple faux plants at the beginning, like in the bathroom, because neither one of us was really we didn't feel like we were prepared to actually grow them or take care of them. I thought I would kill them. I didn't think I had a green thumb at all. But once we got them and we were kind of thrust into it, it was like, they are surviving, so let's get more. Yeah. Alvi.
Definitely me.
Yeah, it's definitely Alvi.
I wake up in the morning, one of the first things I do is check the Plants app to see, what plants need caring for today. And it just kind of like is a good way for me to start my morning, and it makes me feel good and makes me feel like I'm ready to start my day.
See, but I'm attentive though, so it's like Alvi is better with the watering and everything, but I'm like, I can see that this plant is a little droopy today. Might look like they need something. I'm like the one picking up on the growth.
Alex.
Is it me? I guess it is.
He started us off.
I did. Yep, that is. Yep, you're right.
So
Yeah.
we'll go to the store and he'll be like, what do you think about this plant? And I'm like,
And I shouldn't be surprised. I actually just bought 3. We went to Trader Joe's last week. I just bought 3 succulents. So it is definitely me. You're absolutely right.
to me, the plants that we got, we chose them because they are pretty resilient and hardy, and they're not really decorative plants. There's a couple that may need a little bit more tending to, but a lot of them are able to survive for longer periods of time without us really doing anything to them. They're just, using their own nutrients and generating their own food. So I kind of connect that to how we as, Black people, African people are very resilient, and we tend to bloom where we're planted. So for me, the plants kind of represent a sort of, going back to your roots and really understanding like you have everything inside of you that you need to be successful. And if you're able to tap into that, there's like so much that you can really become. And I see that in the plants that we have in our home.
To me, it's like I had an aunt and uncle who lived in White Plains, who were doing the same thing. Like they had their own garden. They were like, every time I went over there, they were giving me squash. And I'm like, why are you guys growing your own squash in White Plains, New York? And trying to grow watermelon and things like that. And I think it's something about that ownness, right? Of like, the same way we make our own shea butter, so many times, so many of us make our own seasoning. It's like, oh, we're gonna make our own soil, and then we're gonna grow our own food. And I'm like, I didn't expect it. It wasn't something that was on my list of things that I was gonna be doing, but it feels natural to just be going through this progression of like taking that control and then having our own things. I do. I mean, I think especially right in this weird, whatever 2020 has been so far, like it's just been such weird times, right? I think for me, it's seeing them grow throughout, whether coronavirus cases are up, whether people are protesting, whether it's raining, whether it's 90 degrees, whether it's 60 degrees, like they are growing. To me, that's been very calming. Like it's been like an anxious time. So to have plants here that and then to be able to mark that growth despite it all, to me just kind of helps remind me to be like, hey, like even just at a broader scale, like despite mistakes you may have made, like you can still grow through those, even if we didn't water it enough or whatever. It's been very, very, and again, we've been home for a long time, so I could just be projecting, right? But it's been great.
Our fern she was really struggling when we repotted her, and we added some tea leaves in there, and she's completely adapted. She's grown back to fill up the spaces that were empty. So I don't know if maybe it's just placebo effect or she was gonna do that anyway, but I like to think that the tea bag helped.
It's like, I don't know if it's even really considered a hack, but after buying so many plants, realizing how easy it is to propagate from all of these plants. Like we have 3 pothos propagations that we're getting ready to pot this weekend. I propagated a pineapple. That's probably been my favorite, that's been like my quarantine highlight so far. So like I love pineapples. I was able to propagate a crown. It's growing. It's grown a lot. It's been like 7 weeks. It's a whole new plant. Like I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, so I don't know if it was Alex or if it was one of our other friends who suggested this app, but it's called Planta. And basically you put the plants that you have in the app, you put the location of the plant in your house, and you set it up where Planta will give you notifications of like when to water your plant, when to mist your plant. And it's really just to start you off. So we relied on it a a lot more when we first got our plants. But now that we understand a little bit more, we've been doing this a little bit longer, we, kind of just go by what our plants need. And the Planta app is just like an extra, like, oh, if you don't know, I got you, but you should be able to feel the soil and tell which plants need watering and which ones are okay. So
Like just kind of miss the big ones, miss my phase. I won't tell the other ones that I have phase, but I'll miss